Guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? Hope you are doing great. So guys, thank you all for your support on my videos. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. God bless you. So guys, in this video I am going to teach you how to cut a princess that bustier gown, this beautiful gown you're seeing on the screen. So I'm going to teach you how to cut it. It has a keyhole on the neckline and on the down part, that is on the skirt part. So let's go. So first of all, I am going to cut everything on the pattern paper before cutting on the main fabric. So what I just marked is my underbust, my chest point, my bust point, my underbust, and my waist point. That is where it's going to stop. And the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder point. So after marking my shoulder point, I'm going to mark my neck width and my neck depth. So for my neck depth, I used 3 inches, and for my neck width, I used 3.5 inches. So that is it. I'm going to connect everything together like so. And from there, on the side of my shoulder, I came down by 1 inch. I'm going to connect it to my neck width. That is for my shoulder slope. And I'm going to divide my nipple to nipple by 2, and whatever I got, I am going to mark it down. So that is my nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2, which is 4.5 for me. The 1/2 inch on it is for my sewing allowance. I'm now going to mark on a straight line. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to come in by 1 inch on both sides of the waist point and the underbust point. So after I'm done with that, I am going to come up by 1 inch on the upper part of my chest point, and I'm going to mark it straight line. So then I'm going to come in by 1 inch and go out by 1 inch as well. Then next thing I'm going to do right now is to come up by 1/2 inch and go down by 1/2 inch again from my bust point. Then I'm going to connect it to my underbust point like this. If you can't mark on a straight line, you can use a ruler to mark it. It also helps. So I'm going to do the same on my waist point by marking a straight line. I'm going to connect it from my underbust to my waistline like this. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to connect from my upper chest to my underbust, to my bust point like that, to the point on my upper chest, and the same thing here. Guys, can you see it? So this is my bustier princess dart. So next thing I'm going to do is to mark my armhole line and give it a curve as well, my armhole curve like that. So guys, next thing I'm going to do right now is to mark, because we are going to mark our sweetheart neckline. This is how I'm going to mark my sweetheart neckline, by covering my upper chest line like this. If you don't want your bust to show too much like that, you can come up a little bit, but if you want your bust to show, you can go down. You can even go deeper than I went. So I'm going to start putting on my measurements right now, and I'll start with my chest point measurement. My chest, that is also my bust measurement. That is my bust circumference divided by 2 by 4. Whatever you get, you mark it down, plus I think I added like 4 inches allowance. And I'm going to do the same on my hip point. You add the 2 inches that you removed, that is the 1 inch you removed, you're going to add it back. Every inch you removed, you're going to add it back. I remember I removed on my waist point and my under bust point and also my chest point. You add it back. So for my keyhole neckline, I came down by 2 inches from my neck depth and I connect it like this. Very simple. That is for my keyhole neckline. So next thing I'm going to do right now is to start cutting all the excesses. I'm just going to cut everything out. So here I am done cutting, and I use the front piece to cut the back piece, that is. But before then, I am going to mark out my zipper allowance, then place my front piece on my back piece. So marking out the zipper points, I use 1 inch on the zipper points. So I'm trying to mark my zipper allowance. I'm trying to mark a straight line so I won't make mistake while cutting out the excesses. So here I placed my front piece on the back piece. So I'm going to use my front piece to mark out my measurement, that is the real measurement here. And after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the excesses, the ones I won't be needing. So here I am done cutting out the excesses, and here is the front piece and the back piece, and I'm going to remove the front piece so we can make use of the back piece. And I marked my 4.5 inch as usual, that is my nipple to nipple measurement. I marked it down, then connect it with a ruler. So next thing I'm going to do right now is to mark where my dart is going to stop. Normally that is where my dart is going to stop, but I'm not sure because there is going to be designs on this on the back. I'm going to add some designs there, and I'm going to connect by removing 1 inch on both sides of the waist point. Then I connect it like that. Then I came down by 1 inch on the neckline, then 3.5 inches. Remember we used 3.5 inch on the neck width, so then came back by 1 inch on the back. Then my shoulder slope. Then next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out my neck. So then my shoulder slope, cut it out also. Then next thing is to start. I want to make sure that the front and back pins are aligned together so I won't be making mistakes. So they are aligned together. So I'm going to mark a straight line on the back. That is where my back is going to stop, and I'm going to put the keyhole design on the back, and I'll connect it like that. So I came in by 2 inches from my armhole, then connect it like this. Then I'm going to go in, come down a bit. I decided to give a little design as well like this, and I'm going to connect from the down part. I came down by 2 inches, and I'll connect it like this as well. It's going to be beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to start cutting. I think we are done. I'm going to redesign my dart, that is to reshape it. Then it's time to start cutting. after we are done cutting the front and the back piece together, here is my pattern piece for my skirt, which I will still explain. I'll still teach you guys how to cut this beautiful skirt pattern. So I'm going to cut out the skirt pattern on the main fabric, and after cutting the skirt pattern, this is for the front skirt pattern, and I'm going to cut it on a straight like this. This pattern is for a corset skirt, but that is why I cut it straight. I didn't cut directly like it is there. So I have added the allowance on the pattern, so there is no need. So here I'm done cutting out the front piece, so let's cut the back piece. So this is the back piece of the pattern, and I'm going to cut it out like this, but I'm going to add a line on the back, so it's going to have an A line on the down part. So look at how I'm going to do it. On the center piece of the gown, you're going to make a fish tail down to the size you want, and then give it a curve like that. Then on the side piece, you mark straight, because the front is straight, so you mark it straight down to the length you want. So that is what I did, and that is for my back piece. So we are done for the back piece, and it's time to cut the princess darts that we just cut. So it's time to cut it on the this is the front piece and this is the back piece of the skirt. And the next thing I'm going to do, this is the princess dart. As you can see, it's all ready. That's the two front piece and the two back piece. It's an off-shoulder princess dart. So it's time to start cutting the keyhole on the skirt. So I spread the front piece of the skirt for me to get the actual points where I'm going to put the keyhole. Then I used razor to cut it a bit before using my scissors to cut the circle points. That is what I did on the skirt, and I'm going to do the same on each of them, of the holes I created. And I'm done doing it, and it's time to add the lining. So after adding the lining, I'm going to cut the keyhole on the neck. That is the yoke, the neck yoke, sorry. So here I am cutting the neck yoke with my pattern paper. I've already taught you guys how to do that. So I'm cutting it on my fabric. So after cutting it out, I am going to do the same on the front piece for the front, and this is for the back. So I'm going to do the same for the front. it's time to start cutting the sleeve, and I came down by 23 inches for the sleeve length. Then that is my sleeve. Then I came down by 4 inches from the sleeve length point, and I connect it to the 4 inches I marked. That is my armhole. You know, we have armhole on the sleeve. So then I am trying to measure my ankle, my elbow. I measure it, then divide it by 2. Then my ankle divide by 2. No, that is not where my ankle is going to be. So I am going to mark out the points where my ankle is going to be, which is 23 inches. So I'm marking it at 23 inches. Then I put my ankle measurement, divide by 2. My elbow measurement, divide by 2. Then I'll connect it. So, and that is it. So I'll cut it out, and I'll use this one to cut out the other side of my sleeve. So here I'm going to cut out the sleeve for my fillet, and I'm going to place it like this in 4 places like I did. Then mark, I'm going to use my ankle measurement, divide by 2, then to cut my fillet. Then my ankle measurement divide by 2, then measure the length. That is, mark where the length of the sleeve is going to stop. So I use 6 inches as the length. Then I'll connect it like that. So it's time to start cutting it out. So I will divide it by 2, 1 for one side of my sleeve, and the other one is for the other side of my sleeve. And we are done cutting everything for the style we are about to make. So it's time to start putting everything together. So on the skirt part, here is the keyhole, and I added it the lining on the skirt. I added the lining on the skirt, and I am going to use bias to cover it. But before that, I'm going to show you how I did it. So I stitched the lining and the fabrics together. So after stitching it round on the hole I made, I'm going to open it. I'm going to use my scissors to open it. So I'm going to open it like that. So after I'm done opening it, I'm going to use bias to cover the stitches. So I'm going to make sure there is no traces of the stitches I made. I'm using the bias to cover it up very well. So this is how it looks like. So I'm going to iron it down to look very neat, and this is how it looks like. Very neat work. So this is the skirt. That is the front piece of the skirt, and this is how it looks like. So I will add the back piece. I will join them together. Then I will shape it a bit to make sure that it comes back to my size. that is my exact size. This is the back piece of the skirt, and I'm going to join the sides together. Then here I'm done joining the sides together, and this is how it looks like. So I'm going to place the front piece on the back, then pin it down, remove the excesses, then the skirt is ready. So here is the upper part of the gown, and I'm done joining the princess that the front and back piece of the upper parts together. Then I've sewn the lining, and here I'm going to attach the lining like this. So I am going to sew everything together, and here I'm done sewing, and I've attached the upper part together. That is the yoke. I've added the yoke on it, and this is how it looks like. As you can see, the cover I gave on the back, this is how it looked. It came out so beautiful. So I'm trying to attach the sleeve. Then I'm going to make sure that my armhole is aligned with the sleeve. Then I'm going to cut out the ones I won't be needing. So that is it. So I'm trying to mark out my armhole curve, making sure that it's the same size. So here I'm going to join my sleeves together, and after joining my sleeves, I'm going to join the flay on the sleeve. Here is the final look. It looks so beautiful. It came out so beautiful after joining. I decided to put some appliques on the front, and it came out so beautiful. So here my brother is helping me to add this beautiful design that is trending now on the back. Then I'm going to attach it on the front too, and this is how it looks like. So beautiful. This design, it made it so popping. Like this design, I love the design. Shao. So guys, the style it came out so beautiful. I love it. So this is the final look, and this is how it looks like. See babe now, so beautiful. I love this. So I've used this design. I made it on my reels and my shorts on YouTube. As you can see, this is babe classic. The design is so classic, elegant, beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment on my videos. Don't forget that I love you. See you in my next video. Bye.